Praise the Lord, saints. Pray things are well with you today. It's Thursday morning, and I just wanted to come to you for a quick devotion. I was reading in the book of Mark, chapter 2, particularly the story about the four guys that had their friend who was sick of the palsy. He was basically a quadriplegic, paralyzed. I'm not sure to what degree, but he was paralyzed. And they had heard that Jesus was there. They were in Capernaum, but they had heard that Jesus was in town preaching and healing the sick. And so they decided to take their friend to Jesus. Well, and the reason was it was noised abroad that Jesus was there in one of the houses. So there's power in spreading the name of Christ and letting people know that he's in the house. So you need to be doing that. But what I was thinking was these guys came down. They didn't know what to expect. You know, they were just going to bring him straight to Christ. But when they got there was a multitude of people around that house. They had packed the inside so full that no one else could go in there. And I was looking at those four guys as they were trying every angle. They were trying to squeeze through. And finally, out of desperation, they said, you know what, we're just going to go up to the roof and tear the thatch off the top of it and lower him right down in there. And there's nothing that Jesus is going to be able to do except address him. And I know there's a lot that can be said about that, but I was thinking about the power of consistency and just doing it again, trying it again. I've been in the ministry, I've been saved for 22 years, I've been preaching for about 20. I've tried a lot of things, and some things worked. I've seen maybe 10,000 people saved in that 20, which is not that much. But I've seen some people give their lives to Christ. I've seen them saved on basketball courts, in churches, on altars. I've seen them saved at Walmart. I've led cashiers to the Lord right there on the spot. Seen people saved in all different types of settings. Smoky living rooms with a dime bag of dope on the table and a bottle of Jim Beam that they tried to hide, slid up underneath the couch. Yeah, I've been there. And I'll have to say this, though. I've tried some things that didn't work. I thought would do a certain thing and it would help somebody or encourage somebody, and it just fell flat. Or try a ministry. But you don't quit, When you can't seem to get to Christ, or you can't find his favor in a thing, maybe you started something and all your heart was in it, just try something else or try to do it better. And I'll tell you this because there's a lot of critics out there, a lot of people that do nothing. And I like what D.L. Moody said. He said, I like my way of doing things, doing something better than your way of doing nothing. And so, there is this peer pressure to succeed. And then there is this false narrative about what success is. That success looks this way or looks that way. And one of the things that I can think about on that is, like a pastor, today the expectation of success for a pastor is to have a megachurch. And the problem with that, just a fraction of the churches in America are actually what you would call a megachurch. I think the average attendance in American church is like 65 or something, 70. It's way down. The number is way low. And when you think about that, you have to say, man, maybe we're shooting for something that may not be attainable for me or this community. Now, I'll be the first one to tell you I'd like to see 10,000 people in our church and, a network of pastors and leaders guiding and directing those people and discipling. But, we are where we're at. We're right here at this moment. And I pray that God has us where he wants us and we've been led by him. But Paul said that we need to be content with the state that we're in. In other words, we need to be content with the content of our life. And so wherever you're at, be content with that. But try. Don't just sit there and do nothing. And don't let past failures or people, critics, folks that are doing nothing, armchair quarterbacks who do basically nothing but criticize other people, don't let those folks hold you down. So don't get bogged down with a false narrative of what success is. Success is being in God's will. And don't allow yourself to be paralyzed by the people around you. If you can't get into Him through the door, go to the roof. Try it another way. If that fails, try it another way. But don't stop trying. No matter how many times you fail, no matter how many dumb things you do, or at least they look dumb, and you're embarrassed because they just didn't work out, no matter what you try, no matter who criticizes you, keep on. Because one of these days, you're going to lower that man down, and he's going to find Christ. You're going to find what your heart's been looking for. That the ministry is going to click. The favor of God is going to be there upon you, and the door is going to open, and it's going to happen. But if you're doing nothing, it's not. So I'd like to tell you, just keep trying. All right? God bless you. Talk to you next time.